Hello, everybody. Welcome to Telli Talks, where we talk about life, growth, relationships, and all things in between. We are here at the Wayfarer in downtown LA, and I have a very special guest with me today, Christine from Too Hot to Handle Season 5 and Perfect Match Season 2. Thanks for coming, girl. Cheers.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
We gonna need an extra sip.
No, girl. Okay. For the people that do not watch reality TV, and you model too. We're going to get into modeling after. But for the people that don't watch reality TV, tell us about your journey in the reality world and how you got to where you are today.
My journey actually was random. So it was during COVID period. I initially wanted to be on Love Island, and my cousin introduced me to watching Love Island. So I was watching it. She's like, I could see you doing this. And I was always kind of shy, and I was like, no. Eventually, I signed up for Love Island. I went through the process, and they were like, yeah, we love you. And then last minute, they're like, no. And I'm like, okay. And then I was in a casting portal, and then eventually I got Too Hot to Handle. It was kind of I don't know, it felt like a dream just because I was like, is this real? I was being so used to being told no because I was rejected by the modeling agency aggressively, which is a whole topic on its own. And so then I did, Too Hot to Handle. And I didn't expect my role to be what it was, but I am very hungry when it comes to my career. And I went on TV originally for my modeling career because I was like, if these modeling agencies aren't going to recognize who I am, I'm going to demand my respect in the industry.
Absolutely, as you should.
And so I remember on Too Hot to Handle, in the beginning, everybody was matched up with somebody. And I was laying in the bed matched up with Dre. And I'm like, why am I the only one not matched up? Right. And I was like, damn, I already openly said that I want Louis. And so I remember when I was in the confessions, at first I was like, no.
Everyone wanted Louis.
Everybody wanted Louis, and he picked Hannah, but off camera, me and him did have chemistry. So it's right. I knew okay, he just didn't get a chance to talk to me. I wasn't allowed to talk to him outside of just ever. The first time I actually was allowed to talk to him was that beach scene. Mm-hmm. So we never even got a chance to really get to know each other beside that initial conversation that we had. And so then we're like, Christine, you're about to have your beach scene. I'm like, oh, hell yeah. First of all, I didn't come on TV for no reason. Obviously, when you're a woman of color or just anybody of color on TV, it is kind of a hit or miss. Right. Either you're going to get screen time or either you're not going to get nothing at all.
Absolutely.
I didn't come this far to come this far. So I was like, right. I'm going to demand my respect. I'm getting my screen time. And so then obviously, my whole storyline happened with Louis, Mrs., I'll steal your man. Even though in real life, I wouldn't. I don't want to be nobody's second option.
Absolutely.
But then Perfect Match comes around. I was really excited because I thought that, now people could see who I really am. Yeah, right. Redemption period. Girl, there was no redemption. First of all, automatically when they said that I was going to be a bombshell, I was sick. But then I was like, okay, if it's a beginning bombshell, maybe things are going to be better. Then the cast members. So production is hands off when it comes to Perfect Match. Do you. Everything is in the hands of the cast members. You're dealing with people who've already been on TV. So everybody's fighting for that screen time. It doesn't matter what the prize is. The screen time is the prize because it equates to more followers. So they made a little pact, which I heard from somebody who was in the house, not to let me in the house because I was going to steal all the screen time. So that's why there was multiple times where I was on the board and they passed. And so I remember sitting in the hotel, if you're on the boardroom, you have to go get dressed as if you're about to go in. Right. So 2 times I got dressed, did my hair, did my makeup, got dressed, sat down and waited for somebody to come to tell me if I was in or not. And they said no. Oh, I was livid. I was so pissed.
Steaming out the ears.
I was so pissed.
Imagine.
And all you think about is your career. I'm like, what the hell? I didn't come on this show for 2 episodes, which eventually it was literally only 2-3 episodes. But then, make it in the house. And then I already had little chats with the girls. So they kind of give me a rundown of everybody.
This is prior to,
while we were, prior to me being shown on the show.
Okay.
So we were in a van on the way to the cenote, the first time you ever see me, when it's the girls switch up with the guys switch up.
Yes.
And so in the van, everybody had already been inside. And so they let me know that the easiest one that's more wishy-washy is Kaz. Mm-hmm. So automatically I was like, okay, whoever Kaz is, That's who I'm going
and
for.
at that time, you didn't know who Kaz was.
I never knew who. No, I didn't know who Kaz was.
You never saw him on the gram or any of that.
No, I didn't know who Kaz was. So I went in and I was seeing that he was being flirtatious, but they warned me. They were like, he's going to flirt with you, make it seem like he wants to be with you, but he's always going to go back to Micah. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I love a good test. Right. So then obviously I don't know how I ended up matching with him.
And you didn't know Micah at all.
I didn't know Micah. Right. Even though I heard that she was like, all I heard this, she was a mean girl like on her season and that's it. And I was like, oh, but she really fought for her life to redeem herself on Perfect Match. Because I was like, 110%. Girl, like off camera versus on camera was
2 different people.
Yeah.
It's crazy to find out like off camera situations when you see on camera televised.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's so different because it's like post-production reality TV, no one really knows what's going to be aired.
Yeah.
So you're kind of just in the curiosity stage of like, well, what's going to be aired? Are they going to show this? Or are they not going to show that? And that's the hardest thing with reality TV.
No, I was disappointed like when the show came out and I saw it because I was like, you mean to tell me I'm coming in this late? But I won. Like, y'all are making me look crazy.
Right.
Like, y'all make it look so crazy. They took out even, like, another date that Nigel and I had, as well as this challenge that we won. Like, they took it out. And I was like, why did y'all drag, like, the Melinda and Harry situation? Like, why did y'all drag that?
Yeah.
But
I feel like because of who Harry is and how he's run his career, that it's like they wanted Harry to get the shine. And I love Harry. Great guy. Nothing bad about Harry to say for me on my end. I just feel like they are selective when it comes to reality TV on who they want to show and what they want to show.
It's who brings them more money. Yeah.
Exactly. To benefit them at the end of the day. So, okay, back to you and Kaz. You got with Kaz, and off camera, how did things end up with Nigel? Like, how did that even transpire? Because you and Nigel had like a past before the show.
Yeah. Okay, so prior to that was like Too Hot to Handle. Like the show came out, I went to New York, and so it was me, Elise, Megan, and Courtney, and we were hanging out with Nigel, and I thought he was attractive, but in real life, I'm not just gonna. Right. So I was just like,
you're the woman, you want to be
like
chased.
go. Yeah, I want to be chased. Absolutely. So I was like, okay, I never like pursued that. Then I saw he was there, and I was like,
right,
like maybe this is a redemption moment. Yeah. I was like, okay.
Full circle.
So then, I remember I just hate how they made it look like the only person I talked to during like the grand mixer was Kaz. Absolutely not. Like I was just trying to get in the house.
Right.
And so I remember like me, Melinda, and Nigel were talking, and we were trying to come up with a strategy on how to like get in the house. And so my only option literally was Kaz. And at first it was kind of like there was a misunderstanding that you can match up with anybody. It's like everybody can match up with everybody. So get to know everybody. But I knew you had to match up with somebody that was in the house. Right. And obviously for me, Justin was like off limits because I did a show prior with Elise, and Elise was with Justin. And so I have real life loyalty towards her.
Right.
So in real life, I wasn't going to cross that boundary because that could have been an option. I mean, he's not my type, but I was just like, nah. Plus, I don't even think he was like interested in me. But amongst everybody else, I was like, So yeah, I was stuck to Kaz. And when I tell you, I don't know how it came about, like that he asked me to match with him. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. But I was happy.
Do you feel like his attraction, obviously to you, was more than it was to him? And yours was like, my sole purpose right now is to get in the house.
In the house, yep.
And you knew that Kaz would fall for you? Or his situation was just not super secure with Micah?
I knew that his situation with Micah wasn't secure. I'm not Kaz's type. Micah is Kaz's type. His type is not Black women.
Right.
So I knew that. But because I knew that they were arguing so much, the worst thing you could tell me, the worst thing that you could tell me is that you're arguing with this girl and it's not working out. Like, he told me too much, which is why I felt secure. Like, oh, like I got this in the bag.
Right.
Like, he told me too much, and they were arguing literally right before that scene where I'm sitting down and and I tell him to kiss me, but he obviously didn't want to like mark it. He wanted to kind of be a little player boy and like go around and see his options. But he had stormed in the kitchen talking to Elise basically in my presence while I'm sitting there just saying like, yeah, I'm so done with Micah. Like, you know, we just argued. She's being so insecure. Da, da, da. Perfect.
Right. You already knew.
This is now my moment in the house. Like, this is perfect. And then he kissed, you know, Holly, but it was like he kissed Holly as a get back to me because I kissed Nigel twice, but it only showed that we kissed once. Oh. So Nigel kissed Tolu, like he held Tolu and kissed her, then turned around and kissed me. And right before Kaz asked me to match with him, we had like a little bicker, and I was just saying like, you know, you went and you kissed Holly, but you told me I'm your number one. And then he's like, well, you kissed Nigel, and he was upset, and he was like, I was like, you weren't playing the game. And he was like, yeah, but I think it was Britain. Dom called Britain to the game so that she can kiss her. Whatever.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, and I was just like
we're all kissing at this point.
But at that moment, I was like, shit. Like, I really genuinely thought I was going in the house, like going back to the hotel. I was like, oh, I'm done.
Right. Because
like the way he was talking, he was like, Christine, honestly, listen. I was like, ooh, it's done.
Yeah, I feel like guys love a challenge, though. They want to always one up someone. Yeah. So when you were in that situation with Kaz, mentally in your head, do you feel like at that time you were like, all right, I'm really not trying to be with Kaz. I'm trying to be with Nigel, but Nigel's not really like here right now, but eventually I'm gonna work on Nigel.
So my plan was I need to win the competition so that way I could be in the boardroom.
Right.
But then I got lucky and Tolu won the competition. So that morning we were in the restroom, like there's no cameras, no mics. And so we're having a conversation. I basically tell her like, you know, like, I'm not really feeling it with Kaz. Like, I don't really know Tolu at that moment. So I'm just like, I don't know if I could trust her. So I make it seem like, yeah, like I'm not really like, I don't know how I feel about Kaz. Like, I don't think I feel like chemistry there, even though it's like, you know, the master plan was I wanted to get in the house. And so I was like, yeah, you know, there was obviously a connection with me and Nigel. And so she was like, yeah. So we made an agreement. If Nigel's on the board, she's going to put me on a date with him. And that's exactly what she did. She ate with that.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So you and Nigel got together. And in the beginning, because I feel like you were so curious to like exceed what was in your mind in New York before everything went down, right? So how was that for you mentally when you was like, all right, it's me and Nigel now?
It was weird because obviously the month before I went through my promo for Too Hot to Handle. Nothing can compare to the connection on camera that I had with Louis. Like that was like I don't know how to explain it. So prior to that, like my dating history, I was never 100% comfortable with myself with guys. Mm-hmm. And I guess because Louis was so young and childish, like, but it was like in a good way. Like I was able to be like goofy and like be myself around him. Like our energies just matched. So I was kind of seeking that in this experience.
Absolutely.
But like Nigel was just real quiet and just like, he was giving gentleman. And I was just like, I like that.
Right.
But I wanted like more personality. It just, I don't know, it felt like too good to be true, like too perfect.
Right.
And I remember having a conversation with Elise on camera, but they didn't show it, where I'm just like, I'm trying to find, like, it's hard because I'm trying to find a connection like I had with Louis, but like, you know, I'm not sure about Nigel. And she's like, no, like, look at Nigel, he's hot, yada, yada,
yada. How long was that into where you guys were like talking to each other to where you felt that way?
It was during that night where Kaz went back to Micah and I was trying to decide, like, you know, if I was going to go with Nigel. And it was funny because I was trying to be Little Miss Strategy. And, like, I already knew I was going to match up with Nigel going into the house. But I wanted to blindside Kaz and pull a him on some, like, you literally played all these girls. I'm about to play you and send you, like, back to the hotel. But he was one step ahead of me because he knew I was interested in Nigel because he knew we kissed and we had like the little conversation prior to that.
Right.
So he went back to what was safe.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was so pissed because I was like, this is going to look so bad on camera. I was like, oh, now it looks like Nigel was my second option when originally I was trying to be on some like.
I don't think it looked like he was your second option because it looked like from initially when you guys did kiss, you had a natural connection prior to even filming and being on the show. So I don't feel like it looked like that. I felt like it was like Nigel was it for you. Like I said, you're a woman that knows what she wants and is going to get what she wants. Yeah. So I don't feel like people perceived you in a sense of like, okay, Kaz was to get into the house and we get that. But it's like, ultimately your goal was Nigel. Just like when you did Too Hot to Handle, ultimately your goal was Louis.
Yeah.
And everyone knew like, okay, that's what she wants. That's what she's going for. Yeah. Absolutely. So Nigel and you happened and you guys won. And then what happened after the show? Because we all want to know.
Girl, let me take a little sip of it.
Me too, because I'm ready, girl.
So much happened. It's like,
First of all, how long were you guys together after the show?
We tried to make it work. Okay, I can't even say we. It was me. I tried to make it work while I was being gaslit and manipulated for 9 months. I'll say 10 because I didn't end it with him until the 28th of June, where I literally said I'm done, and I stood 10 toes down behind that. But yeah.
Did you guys like stay together the whole entire time or like break?
It was on. Oh my God, it was on and off because he was a manipulator. Like
and he's still living. He's not in Cali.
Yeah, he's in Philly. So
it was long distance.
Yeah, it was long distance. And he never came out to see me.
At all? Did you come out to see him?
No, he didn't let me. He was just like, trust me. But he made it seem like he was
So you guys were together, but not together. Like physically together.
Not physically together, but we were together on FaceTime every night. Falling asleep on the phone every night. Or just throughout the day, always on the phone. Like always talking.
So when did you guys see each other?
During the Netflix summer break event where Netflix flew him out.
To LA.
Yeah, but he was acting weird.
And that was after you guys were together for how long?
9 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
So recently.
Yeah.
Okay, so the break, he got flued out. I'm just saying.
He sure did.
That's the thing. He get flued out.
He did get flued out. He did.
City girls, one. Just saying. Okay, he got flued out, and you guys saw each other. What happened?
It's like, what didn't happen? Okay, I saw him. He was acting weird. So prior to him coming to LA, he like randomly started like distancing himself from me and ghosted me.
He knew what was coming.
Despite the fact that I was talking to him for like every single night, falling asleep on the phone, all of a sudden he just... And he had did that prior, like for a weekend, like maybe before like the little 4-day thing. And so his excuse was, I'm going through something, I have these moods or whatever. So I'm trying to be compassionate. And I'm like, okay, he's going through something. Let me respect.
What was he going through? Did he?
His ex. He was going through his ex. It was a lie. You know how that saying when it be like a guy's excuses, I just miss my grandma.
Right.
It was one of those. And so he comes to LA and he doesn't even like tell me. Oh, prior to that, like I was saying, like, why are you acting weird, when he was like distancing himself from me for 4 days. And I was like, are you like messing with your ex or something? And he tells me that no, like he's been talking to her, but like for closure. Okay.
How much closure do you need?
Like you need closure that long after?
Right.
If y'all were supposed to be done after me and you were messing with each other, like what are you talking about? So I was like, okay, so, obviously it's time for him to be in LA. He doesn't even like let me know like, oh, I landed, I'm here. And so my girls text me and tell me that, everybody is at the hotel. I'm in my apartment because I live in LA.
Right.
And so they're like, he's at the rooftop flirting with, one of the Netflix reality stars. And I'm like, oh,
and you know this star or no?
I don't know her personally. No. And so I was just like, I think that was the first time I ever saw her too. Like I never seen her season or seen her. And so I was like, oh, hell no. So I get in my car and I immediately drive to the hotel. And so then...
This is day of his arrival.
Like, was it the day of the arrivals? Yeah. Yeah, it was the day of the arrival.
So he didn't even tell you he was here.
Yeah.
He didn't even he was just like...
Well, there was a moment where he texted me like, what are you doing? And so I thought he was going to say like, come or whatever. Like, I think he was trying to see like where I was at. To see if he was taking a temperature. Yeah, to see if like I was around for him to be acting how he was acting at the rooftop.
But he didn't know if he was going to pull up or not.
Yeah.
So it was like...
I'm a crazy bitch. Like, you should know better. And so I pulled up. By the time I got there, though, nobody was at the rooftop no more. And I was like...
How long was the rooftop shindig?
I don't know. It was going for a while.
And nobody like on the cast told you that there was a rooftop situation, or you were just like
it was just like they were just there, I think, for like happy hour or something. Like it was just like
all decided to come. They were just phone. It wasn't like a cast.
No. It was just everybody was just like, oh, he like just having a good time, getting together. We're finally seeing everybody in person again. And so, you know, I drive to the hotel,
and this is not just Perfect Match. This is all
Netflix flew out like a couple of other people, like people who were like getting nominated for an award or something like that. So it was just a whole bunch of like random people that were also like flew out as well. So I go to the hotel, and then we just stay downstairs because nobody's upstairs no more, but Nigel's not there. And so I'm like, where, like, I'm trying to figure out like what's going on. Where's that? Right. So I FaceTimed him, and
he didn't know you were coming to the hotel.
No, but
he didn't know where you were.
No, apparently after, like, when I finally saw him, he said he saw me, like, storming. Like, he saw me walking mad as hell, like, storming across the street to get to the hotel. So he knew trouble was coming. And so then,
I'm trying to figure out where he saw you. Did he see you at the
rooftop? He was in his hotel room, and I guess he looked out the window, and then he saw me crossing the street mad.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah. So he knew it was coming. And so then I FaceTimed him, and he was like saying like, you know, he just got out the shower.
I'm over here trying to envision.
And I'm like, let me come up. I want to talk to you. Like, let me come up. And he was not letting me come up to his hotel room. I was like, what floor are you on? And he was like, he told me
something was going on.
Yeah, I felt it. And my girls just told me he was flirting, and she was like touching on his body. Yeah. So I said, what floor are you on? He told me the floor. I was like, what room number? He was like, acting stupid. He was like, I don't know. He was like, I don't know what room number it is. He was like, I'm about to come down. And then I was just like, and then he hung up. And so I was just like, I'm about to just go to the floor, and I'm about to stand right there in the middle and figure out which room he's coming out with and who's he coming out with. Right. So as I'm like walking to the elevator, I like tell one of the girls, can you give me your card so I could like
go to that
swipe up?
Right, right.
And as I'm like walking towards the elevator, he's literally coming out the elevator. I'm like, damn, I look crazy as hell. So I'm like pretending like I'm about to get a snack from like the stand down there. Right. And then he was asking me where I was heading to, and I told him I was like, I was just about to get a snack. And then he tried to just make it seem like nothing was going on. He was like, hey, how are you doing? Like, I like your hair. You look good. Yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, why are you acting like that? Like, what is up with you? Why have you been acting weird? He's like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean I'm acting weird? The gaslighting, the manipulation. I'm like,
now why are you acting crazy?
Yeah, why are you acting slow? Like, why are you acting slow? Right. And I'm asking him then, like, so what, are you talking to your ex? Is that why you haven't talked to me for the past 4 days? And he was like, no, I already told you, like, it was for closure. Like, I talked to her for closure, but it's nothing. Then, like, me and him are kind of like, we relocate and we kind of go back and forth a little bit. But he's telling me to, like, fix my face because there's other people from Netflix walking past, and he doesn't want people to see that we're having issues. There's always been an issue. Like, everything for him is about how he looks publicly, but he doesn't care to clean his act up behind the scenes. And so I'm telling him, like, what are you doing? Like, you're sitting here wasting my time. Like, why are you getting closure from your ex? And he's like, I'm not here wasting your time. I care about you. You know, I don't care about this TV shit. I wouldn't do this stuff for the TV. Like, if it wasn't true, like, if I didn't feel the way that I felt.
Is all this before, like, you guys had to be back on TV together, or like after?
After.
Okay.
What do you mean before?
Like, did you guys ever have your reunion? Like,
we didn't have a reunion
because you guys won and there was nothing after.
Nothing after except for a podcast. And girl,
so what?
Wrong timing for a podcast. Okay. So then he's basically telling me, I'm like, you know, I'm trying to be a girlfriend. Like, I can't do this like 9 months no title shit. Right. And so basically he's saying, like, you know, we're working through it, you know, reassuring me that, you know, it's to come.
Coming, yeah.
He's like trying to work through this like mistake that I made at week 2 where I like kissed and got touched by this guy during a game night. And so like just throughout the relationship, he always like hung that over my head. Like month 2, he'd be like randomly, I just can't do this. Like, I just can't get it out of my head. Like, I'm just such a visual person. Like, I could just see what he gets.
Week 2 of you guys being together.
Week 2 of us being together, which includes like filming. Like, I, you know, did what I did. But like, say like 2 months past, like he chose to say, I told him.
After you guys were together on camera.
Yeah.
And continued to be together.
Yeah.
And this is 9 months after that situation happened, he was like, okay, I'm bringing this situation back up.
Oh, yeah, but that's not he always brought it back up. He brought it up every single time. Every time we would go on break, it's because he would bring it up and be like, I'm really trying to fight through this. I can't do this, yada, yada, yada. And he would say, and other things. I later found out and other things was the fact that his type is girls with really big butts and a nice body, and he couldn't fight past my body. But it's like, why did you choose to do long distance with somebody that you're not physically attracted to?
Right.
You chose that. You chose to sit on FaceTime with me every single day and talk to me every single day and lead me on every single day. Yeah. So,
these boys.
Where was I at? Okay, so he was, reassuring me like we're working towards something. What else happened? And then
so at the hotel.
Yeah, at the hotel.
What happened when you guys were having this conversation? Like, he was like, don't get too crazy in front of these people because we don't need these people to know our business.
In our business. He was like basically telling me that Alara already said to him, like, you know, like she was with Elise and they were asking about like how we were. And then she was like, you know, they were faking it for the TV. And he was like, no, we weren't. Like, me and Christine, like, we didn't fake nothing. Like, we're still working on things.
Right.
And so I guess like he was just trying to prove to the world, like, we're working on things. We're trying. We're trying. You didn't try. You're a liar. You didn't try shit. And then I had like a nail appointment. So he walked me to my car. And so I was like, okay, like I'm going to come back and see you. He's like, okay, cool. Just let me know.
Day.
No, the same. Like after the hotel, like after, like we're kind of going, like he walks me to my car, but he doesn't want to kiss me. Like as I'm like trying to give him a goodbye kiss, he doesn't want to kiss me. And I'm like, why are you acting?
After you guys just worked all this drama out.
Yeah.
He
didn't want to give me a kiss. And I'm like, why are you acting like that? He's just acting weird. And I was just like,
something's going
eventually, on. I'm like, did you do something with somebody to where you just feel nasty to like kiss me after you did that?
Right.
So then eventually he gave me like a small little kiss, and then I went to my nail appointment. Then I came back. No, I called him and I was like, my nail appointment didn't work out because I booked it wrong. And I was like, I'm coming back to the hotel to see you. He's like, all right. He was like, but give me like an hour because I'm about to go out to eat. So he went out to eat with Melinda. I was like, okay, like, cool. An hour goes by and I don't hear from him. Then like 2 hours go by.
And you were
like,
cool with him eating with Melinda?
Yeah, because they're friends. I'm like, whatever. But I'm just like, time is going by. I'm not hearing from him. And so I'm like messaging him because I'm in the area and I'm like, I have to drive all the way back and it's getting dark. I'm not just going to sit here and wait. Right. And so then I message him.
And this is supposed to be your boyfriend. Like, what are you doing, sir?
And I call him, well, not my boyfriend, but like, he's supposed to be my man. You know what I'm saying?
Same.
Whatever.
Difference.
Yeah.
Right.
But like, we're going 9 months. And so then I call him and he ignores my call. Why are you declining my call?
Right.
And so then I text him like, hey, like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I'm about to go back home.
You're
like, do I grab my stuff?
Sir.
Yeah, like you're moving weird.
Yeah.
He's not responding. Then my girls tell me that he's on live with the girl that he's on the rooftop with. Oh, and I forgot to add that when we were having that conversation, like when we were talking, when I saw him at the hotel, I was confronting him about the girl. I'm like, so what's up with that? Like, why are you over here flirting with her? He was like, I'm not flirting with her. I just met her. Like, we're just being friendly. And I'm like, oh yeah, let me see your phone. So then he opens his phone and shows me like their DMs and there's absolutely nothing because they just met. So I'm like, okay, I guess that's reassuring that there's nothing going on. But then he's like, let me see your phone. And I'm like, okay, I literally have nothing to hide. So he like took my phone and like unlocked it with my face. And then as he was about to scroll through stuff, he like locked it. He was like, no, I'm not going to do that. Why not? Because you know you're not going to find nothing and you're going to feel like shit because you're a terrible person. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they tell exactly. So they tell him, they tell me that he's on live with a girl. So I'm like, oh, this is like when the crazy starts.
Is that when you found out who the girl was? Because initially you didn't know who the girl was.
Like I didn't know. No, I knew who she was, but I didn't know. I never knew a face.
Right.
Like to who she was.
Because did they tell you who?
Yeah, they told me. They told me name wise, but I didn't know. I never watched her show, so I didn't know who she was.
Who is she?
I'm gonna just leave her private.
Okay.
If that comes out, that comes out. I'm gonna just leave her private. Yeah.
Whoever Nigel went on live with you.
I'm not gonna drag nobody else down, like especially another black woman. I'm like, let me just.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And she black, y'all.
Yeah.
Okay. On another show. I'm just saying. Okay.
So then, I text him. I'm like, you just made a mistake. And so then I messaged.
When he found out, time out, pause on the play. When he found out you knew who he was talking to on that rooftop, what was his reaction?
It was kind of like, he plays dumb. Like, he likes to play dumb. Like, I think he was trying to say, like, who told you? And I was like, it doesn't matter. Like, who told me? Important. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, he wasn't really too pressed on that. Like
let's get to the meat of the sandwich. He's just too pressed on,
like, trying to... He's the type of person that if he's, like, having a conversation that's serious, he's going to try to change the subject, or he's going to try to make a couple of jokes to kind of, like, steer you away from the conversation. Like, when it gets too serious, it's, like, too much for him. Right. So he'll just kind of, like, change the whole subject.
So what did you do when he did that?
When he was on live?
No, like when you confronted him about the live.
I messaged his ex.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I messaged his ex. So I DM'd her, and how I knew about his ex was in, like, March. I was just curious, like, on what his type was. And so we were, like, talking, like, about, like, who we were with and, like, our types or whatever. So then he sent me, like, 2 pictures of two of his exes so I could see, like, what his type was. The first one, her Instagram name was on it, and I think he said that he was with her for, like, 4 years. Like, they were together for 4 years.
For a long time, yeah.
And then this last girl, like, they were talking for 2 years, but there was no title. And so he sent me her picture, but he didn't add her Instagram to it.
Right.
So I'm like, that's sneaky. So I do my little crazy shit, and I find her page. Then I find her Twitter, and, like, a lot of her tweets, it was like, is it talking about him or is it, like, somebody else? Like, I couldn't figure out if it was him that she was talking about. But I started to kind of, like, suspect, like, there is something going on, like, later down the line, like, closer to when he was about to come, when I asked him about his ex and he said that closure thing.
But there was never no title with them, or there wasn't?
There was never a title with them. 2 years, no title.
So he had really, like, no, it was almost like he was like, I'm just out here being single, but I got 2 girls that want to be my girl, but they're not my girl, and I'm not claiming them.
Yeah, and they can't do nothing, but I could do whatever I want. Right. Yeah.
A boy.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
A boy, literally, a boy. Not a man, a boy.
Gotcha.
So then I DM his ex, and I'm like, hey, girl, call me, and drop my number. Like, I'm not going to go like, hey, like, I need to tell you something. Call me.
Right.
So then she calls me, and I'm, like, on another phone watching his live. And so
this is the whole time this live is going on while you're, like, exchanging numbers with the other girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we're on FaceTime together, and I'm, like, watching the live on my best friend's phone.
To show her that this is going on.
Yeah, that they're on live. And I told her, I was like, girl, like, I'm just letting you know, like, he's on a rooftop with somebody else. And first I was like, what's up with you and Nigel? Like, are y'all, like, what are y'all? And so she told me.
She's like, that's my man. And you're like, that's my man.
And she said, like, I was just with him yesterday, like, last night, and we slept with each other. Sure. And I was like... And so that's when I found out.
That explains a kiss.
Yeah.
Or lack thereof.
Yeah. And then I found out that he lied. So he was trying to make it seem like the reason that our relationship was at a downfall was because I messed up. No. He was already messing with her during Perfect Match.
To make himself feel better about what he's dealing with outside of you.
Yeah, during Perfect Match, he was still messing with her. And then on top of that, he had the audacity to tell this girl that his trip to Thailand was a group trip. Group where?
Okay, so let's talk about the trip to Thailand. When did the trip to Thailand happen?
In October. So we, like, finally came home in September, like, beginning of September. Beginning of October is when we went on the trip. Beginning of September is when I did the kiss. And then I told him, like, the middle of September. But it was like the trip was already planned, but we could have canceled. I told him before because I was like, it's messed up if we're on this trip. He really likes me. And then I tell him after, like, this beautiful trip, like, hey, by the way, I did this.
Right.
So I told him before, like, to let you know, like, if you don't want to go on this trip no more, then, like, this is your way out.
Right.
He still wanted to go. But
and it was just like, you and him.
Just me and him. This was our winter's trip.
Right.
Like, so we can get, like, a better connection. Absolutely. And, like, our chemistry can grow. Yeah, it was just me and him. And she was like, yeah, he even sent me a voice message.
So she knew he was on the show.
Yeah.
And she didn't watch the show to see
the show hadn't come out until Like, even
Months
when I
later.
called her, the show hadn't come out until like a couple weeks after that.
After you called her.
Yeah.
But so she saw the show already?
No, the show was never out.
Oh, it didn't come out until 2 weeks after
I was on the call with her. Yeah, okay. So we filmed.
So she had no clue about you at all.
I feel like she knew about me, but he downplayed it.
Gotcha.
So he made it seem like this is just a girl on a show. Like, we never did nothing. And I was like, we never did nothing. She was like, yeah. He said that y'all never, like, had sex. I was like, oh, really? And then, anyways, I'm like all over the place. But whenever I was on that, because I ended up adding him to the call.
To you and the other girl.
Absolutely.
Okay, while he was on live or after?
While he was on live.
So you called him while
absolutely.
He was on live.
He left that
I got a call
live.
Coming in.
Yeah. So first I was texting him, I'm on the phone with your ex with a heart. And then I texted him her number with a heart. And then...
Like, you know it's real.
Yeah. And then I took a screenshot of me and her posing and sent it to him. And he was like, just looking at it, acting, unfazed. He was acting like, just on live.
Oh, wow. So he was still talking on live.
like acting like it was nothing. Like
you saw him checking his phone, like you're watching live.
I saw like his eyes gravitate towards the top, like messages were coming in.
Right.
But he was trying to seem like, oh, nothing was going on.
Right.
But I said, girl, are you okay with me adding him to this call? And she said, yes. That's exactly what I did. He immediately left that live and hopped on the call. And so I'm like,
what were they talking about on the live?
I don't even know. It was just bullshit. Like, just talking. Like, he was in the same room with her, but he, like, went further away so that they could, like,
He was in the same room doing a live?
No, he was on a room. I think he was, at the time, in a room. I don't know what exactly his little environment. Yeah, I don't know what, but he got off the live because she was on it separate. I think they were trying to just, like, monetize off of it separately. Right. So they both were in the same room, but they, like, separately, like, got on the live. And I think he kind of, like, I feel like he left the whole, like...
situation.
Yeah, he left the place. And so then I didn't start recording until halfway into the, like, conversation. But he was trying to make me seem like he didn't want me. And at that moment, I was like, oh, I see who you value. Like, and it was her because he knew her longer.
Right.
And she lived in Philly. Right. So that's who he was always seeing. And he was trying to downplay it. And he was like, when we brought up like the whole sex thing, he was like, but did I want to have sex with you? I said, you didn't want to have sex with me? Then he tried to lie and say I forced him to have sex. I said, what the fuck are you talking about? And then he was like, we only had sex 2 times. I'm like, have you lost your mind? Like, have you lost your mind? And so I'm like, okay, if I forced you to have sex, why'd you stick around? He said, because I felt bad. You felt bad for what? If I'm the one that messed up and was a downfall of this relationship, why do you feel bad for me?
That's insane.
Like, why do you feel bad for me?
Right.
So
what did he say?
Like, he didn't have much to say. He started just being immature. He was like, are y'all done? Like, he was just so like
wrap this up.
Like, he was like, are y'all done? Like, are y'all happy now? Like, did y'all get what y'all wanted out of this?
So did she stay with him? Like, are they still together? Are they?
I don't know.
Because I know you didn't stay.
I did. Okay. I went back a little bit after, like a doofus.
Why?
I don't know. Like, I feel like a lot of my past traumas make me see love as sacrifice. And so I was so blinded by everything. Oh, and on top of that, okay.
I feel like a lot of women do that.
After everything that happened, I saw him in a completely different light. When she told me everything, I was like, who the hell, like, have I been with? Because the whole time I've allowed him to like, when somebody gaslights you, that's a different level of, like, manipulation to where you see and perceive everything differently. So I perceived myself as the fuck up. Like, I messed up. Like, I am the reason why this relationship, I'm the reason why this relationship is fucked up. And I'm having to sit here and try to get his trust back. And every time he's like, I'm trying to work on it. You know, I care about you. I wouldn't be here if I didn't. It's just a situation. And I'm an empath. So I'm sitting here trying to be empathetic towards his feelings and not brush his feelings to the side and say, fuck you, because I feel like everybody's feelings are valid.
Absolutely.
But he used that as a manipulation tactic to play me. And so the show was coming out. And then when the show came out, I got so much hate. Like, I got so much hate because of like how everything played out. And I feel like during that moment, it was kind of like, what the hell? Like, y'all are saying we didn't deserve to win, but compared to everybody else, we actually lasted the longest. Like, Steven fucking ghosted Alara like a week after, and Kaz literally kissed another one of the girls not even 24 hours after like the cameras cut. So I'm like, these guys were full of shit. Like, who
like
y'all
everyone was playing a game.
Everybody was playing a game.
Like, literally a perfect match looking for love.
No, everybody was looking for screen time.
Right.
Like, nobody was serious. So don't try to sell it out to be like, oh, you were looking for love. No, you weren't. You weren't. And so at that time, I felt like that also brought like me and Nigel together, because it was like, you know, it's us against everybody. And yeah, so I started talking to him again a little bit, but I just still felt like I felt so numb. Like, I was like questioning myself, like, why am I here? Like, I literally had the evidence and I've had this conversation with him. So then it wasn't up until like the 28th of June, because the whole situation with like the conversation with the ex happened like, I want to say around like the 29th of May. And so then June, the show comes out. So it was like very on and off, but we were still communicating some of the times.
Have you talked to the girl after the show came out?
No. But she was tweeting, and she was like, he's mine, the end. Yeah, and I'm like, I don't want him no more.
Right.
But I don't know. Like, now she's tweeting like hateful stuff towards him. I don't know. It's on and off.
A mess.
Yeah. And so on the 28th of June, I like came to my senses and I was like, what am I doing? Like, this man is literally playing in my face to the point where he wanted me to clean up publicly, like, my image with Kaz, because his pride is a bitch and he didn't like how he looked like a second option. So he set me up with a BET interview. And in that BET interview, I made it seem like I was a downfall of our relationship. And I kind of sugarcoated everything that he did to me in the relationship. And I literally, after I did that BET interview...
This is what he told you to do.
Yeah, he told me to clean this shit up.
In those words.
And I have a voice note. He said, clean this shit up. And I cleaned that shit up. And so then after I did the call with BET, I literally was crying. And then I called him and I was telling him, like, I protected you. You're not innocent. And he was like, look, you're being too emotional. Like, you need to talk to me when you're done being emotional. Then he hung up on me. And then he called me after again. And he was telling me, I'm sorry, like, for like being rude and being dismissive or whatever. But then he was also saying like, but you know, the way that you present yourself on TV, yada, yada, yada. And so then we start going into an argument about how I present myself on TV. And I'm like, I present myself on TV the way that I do because I have a lot to lose. Like, I don't come from money. So I'm going to do whatever for my career. And your mom has money. But then he tried to make it a situation, like, every time I would have like a story or something about my struggles, he would try to one-up me in it. Like, it was like, why are you trying to one up me? Why can't you just be here for me? Or he would make a joke about it. Like, side note, there was a joke where there was a situation that was happening with my sister where I thought she got drugged, and because she was making a stupid decision, and I was confiding in him about the situation. And he tells me, well, maybe that'll teach her to stop being retarded or on the spectrum, because, you know, it runs in the family. My nephew is autistic, and he knows that and he knows that I raised my nephew for almost 4 years before I moved to LA, because my sister was going to school and I helped raise him with my mom. And he said that. Yeah, he was like very shallow.
Okay, what are we doing moving forward to find better men?
I'm going to therapy.
Amen.
I literally I feel like if there's anything that I learned from this relationship is that I know exactly what trauma has made me love the way that I love, and I need to have closure with that.
Absolutely.
And I need to heal from it, because I don't want to go through another Nigel again. That was the worst man that I have ever dealt with in my entire life. I've never been so gaslit, and no, it was so bad. Like, now seeing it out of like a not like head over heels point of view,
right,
I'm just looking back and I'm like, damn, I was stupid. But while I was living in the moment, it was just excuses, and like, I really did allow him.
Your feelings.
Yeah, I really did believe that he cared for me, and that, you know, the reason that everything was the way it was because his past traumas, which he would say, my past traumas is the reason I have trust issues, and I really like you, and yada, yada, yada. And I allowed that to like be what he, held
Used
over my
again.
head
Absolutely,
the entire
absolutely.
time.
So now are we single?
Yeah.
We're single, but happily single, or
I feel like
happily
I'm
looking,
numb.
or
No, I'm emotionally unavailable. I feel like I'm so numb
Heard
right now.
that.
I feel like I need to work on healing now, because if
Absolutely.
it's anything that I do try to get into, I know that I'm going to have struggles, because it's like I'm at the point where it's like I just want to be loved, and I want somebody to love me the way that I love.
Yeah, you deserve
And
you.
it's like, if I found a male version of myself, I'd be head over heels. I'd be excited, because I know I'm loyal and I know what I have to offer and to bring a man. And it's like, why is it so hard for a man to do that for me?
Absolutely.
So yeah, no, I need to heal. I know
I
it's
love it.
the worst thing for me to try to like go into something else. Like, I'm just gonna try to like put in, like, try to fix the missing puzzle pieces
Absolutely.
that Nigel couldn't do, and try to seek that in another man. And I don't even feel like another man deserves to like go through that emotional like roller coaster dealing with how I am right now.
I love that for you. And I hope in the near future you find your version of yourself in a man.
No, same, girl. Cheers to
that. Okay. So for everyone that comes on the show, we play this game, Would You Rather. Forgot my cards today, girl, so we're going to have to impulse and make our own questions, which I think is so much more funner. I'm going to go first.
Okay, bet.
Would you rather date a guy that is... You're tall. You're 6'1", right?
Yeah.
So would you rather date a guy...
You gonna say something short. Oh,
no, listen. 8 foot tall, but not packing, or 5 foot tall, but like everything you want down there?
You know,
boys and girls.
I'm gonna say the 8 foot because it's all about the motion of the ocean. Like, it's not about how much you have; it's about if you can work it.
That is true.
So if you can work it, then sex can be taught. Like, I don't want to have to teach it, but it can be taught. So
absolutely,
and there's toys. We can be a little experiment. I'm not picking. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Be like this. Get scoliosis while I'm kissing my man. Oh no.
Girl, I be feeling like I like abnormally tall men. So like abnormally
See, you're the
tall.
one that steals them all from me. I'm like, where are they?
Abnormally tall, like 6'5" and above men. So I'm like,
where are you finding them? Asking for myself.
I honestly, like, I found mine in the airport, like random day.
I mean, like catch flights then.
Not feelings for now.
Yeah, not feelings. Flights for now. Flights
okay.
Only.
So your turn.
Okay. Would you rather find love, like the best love that you've ever had, like healthy, perfect, but be broke, like y'all are broke, or never find love and be rich and be able to buy everything and anything that you ever want?
I would rather find love and be broke and grow together in a happy state and at peace with a clear mindset. I feel like I've been both. I feel like money only brings you monetary happiness.
Yeah.
If you have everything that you want. So I feel like when you or anyone gets to a point of like having everything that you want, it doesn't become a value anymore. Like, it's like, it's no longer like you buy something. Let's say you buy a plane ticket, for example. Like, I've never been to this place. I'm so excited to go here. And then when you go, it's done. And then once you're done with that location, it becomes a memory.
Yeah.
And then as humans, naturally, we want more and more and more and more and more and more. So when is more ever enough? And if you've gotten everything, like, it feels like I feel like the happiness that money brings isn't like pure joy or peace. It's just like a financial freedom type of situation. I feel like it just depends on where you find your happiness. If you find your happiness in people, or if you find it in money and materialistic things. And when you get to a point of like having everything that you've ever wanted materialistic wise, it doesn't become of value anymore, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's other things that I feel is more important than money, like children, love, a healthy relationship, your mom, your dad, time that you can't get back, you know, stuff like that, that I feel like money can't buy.
I agree. No, you picked the right answer, because I was like, girl, what you gonna pick?
Yeah, no, definitely. Okay. So, let me think. Would you rather... would you rather have your head full of hair now, or your head full of hair now, but not have edges, and you can't cover your edges? Like, you have to like show your edges all the time. You can't like put your hair in the front and cover your edges.
So I'm gonna have that 5 head.
Right. You can't have bangs. You can't. Or be bald, but the only thing you have is edges.
Oh, hell no. Girl, that was an easy one. No edges, me, please. You know, they got those, the little tattoos, the little edge tattoos.
Put them on right now. Yeah, I can't do the whole
edges is wild.
Just edges and bald. No. All the way around.
No, like, just edges is actually crazy.
Diabolical.
People are like, wig me, please.
No, facts.
Oh, yeah, no, that... I would just have to shave the edges off. Yeah. I'd have to be bald.
Yeah,
just
completely.
Bald. Nothing.
I think you would look cute bald, though. You
I don't have the head shape for it.
But you got a face,
though.
No. I don't know what your head looks like. I feel like
head shape is like... So, like, it's weird because back in college, like, my friend group and we were having, like, a debate on if I have a big head or a small head, because, like, when I would put my hair back, it's like I had, like, a really small head. So, I just don't think... I'm gonna look like a light bulb. Like, we're just never gonna do bald.
Okay.
We're just never gonna do bald. Okay, would you rather have, like, for the rest of your life, bad breath? Like, there's nothing that can cure it. Like, you have bad breath. Like, that's
nothing. Like, that's gum.
That's a part. Yeah, nothing. Like, nothing
like
cures
halitosis.
It. Like that episode of SpongeBob when the room turned green.
Okay, what's the other option?
Or would you rather, like, stub your pinky toe every single day?
I'm stubbing my toe. Like, what? Nobody got to see my feet. I could wear closed-toe shoes. I just might have to walk with limp. But, like, bad breath in your podcast, girl. Like, I'm like, we gonna knock you out. We gonna knock Mac out. We're just knocking everyone out with the breath. The halitosis.
Green ass room?
Yeah, no. It's not. No, absolutely not. Okay. I gotta think of a good one for the last one. Would you rather?
This better eat. It better eat.
I'm over here.
It better eat.
I'm over here thinking, okay, would you rather be on a deserted island full of nothing but...
Girl, I thought you had it.
Full of nothing but... Okay. Would you rather live on a deserted island, you cannot be in a home, and everything on the island was just like cat urine infested, like hoarding situation to where it's like you can't move, but you have to sleep on this island. There's no bed, and it's just you and the most dirtiest man on God's given earth? Or would you rather procreate with the guy that you met by your car today?
I'm picking or.
And by the way, that was like a guy that was homeless, and I don't think he was very clean or hygiene efficient.
Can he take a shower?
I mean, no, because you're in a hoarding situation. So it's either on an island stuck with the dirtiest guy or this homeless guy that is dirty too. So
But the homeless guy can't shower?
I mean, they both dirty.
Oh, wait, just to procreate shit.
You gotta make babies. Make babies or just be with someone nasty. on an island. Like,
I feel like an island is, I can't do that. For life.
For life. Like, procreate, homeless man, for life, dirtiest man. You don't have to procreate, but you're living on an island with him in this, like,
I would lose my
bordering infested situation.
I'm gonna have to pick the second one.
Which one is that? The homeless man?
Yeah.
Procreate? Ooh, girl.
Girl, what would you pick?
I mean, they both for life, but at least in the homeless situation, you can live in, like, a better home.
You can live in a better home. You could build them up.
Yes.
Like, even though, like, you're going to be the one, like, uplifting somebody.
You're the
like,
provider.
Yeah, but that's better. You know, you can make him
But he just looks homeless all the time. Like, he's not out of his way.
Maybe he's artsy. Give him a paintbrush. That's a style.
Okay, go ahead. Hit me. Okay. I know you've been holding it.
I'm like, okay, would you rather... You got siblings?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Would you rather... You got a brother?
Yes.
Okay. Would you rather sleep with your brother...
Absolutely not.
One time?
Absolutely not.
Or have to watch your dad have sex?
Watch my dad have sex. Easy. Like, what do you mean? I feel like as children, we all walk in on our parents. Been there, done that. Sorry, mom and dad.
I've never been there, and I'm so happy.
I just feel like... Okay.
I've walked in on my dad naked, though, and I've never... I was pissed. Like, why was I so angry that my eyes saw that? I was pissed.
I feel like that's better than incest. Like,
yeah. No, you're right.
Like, yes,
that one didn't. It ate in my head, but it didn't eat out loud.
I'm like, no,
that one didn't eat. You answered too quick. I said,
and my brother are like this. Like, he used to podcast with me. Like, he's the comedian. I'm the serious one. Let's talk about business. And he's like, fuck the business. What you doing here?
Yeah.
How did this come about? But I'm like, what?
No, I should have changed the second one up. I should have okay. I should have changed it up. I should have changed it up and said, okay, the brother one, right? Or you gotta take a lick off your dad's dick.
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
That's the hard one. Just one lick versus the whole intimacy with your brother.
Neither or. I'm not answering that question because she already had her question. Now tell everybody where they can find you and what you have going on, coming up, all that good stuff. That one would have ate.
That one would have ate. Damn, my brain didn't work fast enough.
If that was your first question, I'd have been like, all right, fuck.
Okay, next time.
This one.
Okay, you guys could find me on Instagram or TikTok at Christine Obanor, and future things that I have coming up. Just know I'm planning something for the tall girlies. Yes. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say too much. I'm going to let my actions speak.
Amen. Make sure you guys tune into everything Christine has going on. If you haven't already watched Perfect Match Season 2, tune in. It's on Netflix. Or Too Hot to Handle Season 5. She's on both shows. And if we didn't already spoil it for you, still watch the episodes.
Spoiled.
Right. And that is it for Telli Talks.